A lot has happened over the last 12 weeks here at Nutrified. We attended events, some worked, some didn't. We changed the way we think about packaging and first impressions. We had to cancel an international trip and got reminded that the company still relied too heavily on one single person and that we were lacking the procedures and operating methods in order to continue working even if that one person is gone. We look back and don't see that as failure. We see all of that as an opportunity for growth and look forward to what we can change in the coming months. This isn't a recap of failures. This isn't a highlight reel. This is 5 lessons we learned from running our startup in the last 12 weeks. Lesson number 1 is that when everything is important, nothing is important. And I think this is the biggest one from those last 12 weeks. Back in January, everything seemed so important. Education, social media, our new website, new packaging, events. We wanted to do everything and say yes to every single opportunity. And the thing is, we weren't choosing the wrong things. And I know that saying that we had so many goals may sound ambitious, but what ended up happening is that we moved slower. Because we didn't prioritize, we were spread thin, and all of our resources were going into different directions instead of focusing on one single thing, completing it, and then moving on. Lesson number 2 is for the founders not to become the bottleneck. And this one is a little bit uncomfortable because it's mostly on me. When the company and team is small, it makes sense that a lot of decisions go through one person. That person has the context, has the history, controls the financials, and has the final say. That's something that works while the team is small and while that person is operating at their highest efficiency. When the team became bigger, this no longer was leadership, but it was a weak point. The moment I got sick and disappeared for a very long time, I didn't only block my work, but I also negatively affected both Natalia and Zuza. Going forward, we're implementing standard operating procedures as well as systems that allow the company to move forward even when one of us is missing. This will be based on the fact that context will be shared, everything will be documented, decisions will be peer-reviewed, and then a final one will be taken. But also, decisions won't only rely on one person, but will go to the responsible people in each sector that have the most experience in it. Lesson number 3 is that not every opportunity deserves the same budget. Every opportunity has a cost, and sometimes it isn't the obvious in the form of monetary cost. It can be a lot of small other things. Travel, time, expenses, other projects you have to say no to, the availability of the team. A lot of those things stack up. Some opportunities deserve a full push. Some deserve a small test, while others yet truly deserve a polite no. The mistake is treating every exciting opportunity like it deserves the same amount of investment. Now, we let everything go through a filter where we decide for what it is, what needs to happen for us to afterwards say, yes, this was worth it, and for us to align on the timeline when such opportunities will be good returns on investment. Sometimes that will be immediate in the form of team building, fun exercises, or projects we're truly proud of and that produce content. In other times, it'll be measurable things, like an investment into advertising, which will bring back direct sales and revenue improvements. So, going forward, the question is no longer only, is this exciting? But the better question is, what are we testing? How long are we willing to spend on it? And how will we know that it succeeded? That brings us to lesson number 4, which is don't let sunk costs control your future decisions. This is one of those lessons that is very obvious in theory, but changes the moment you've already invested either a lot of money, time, or energy into a project. Because then it doesn't only feel like you're giving up. It feels like the original idea wasn't good, and that all of that money would be lost, and that just a little bit longer or just a little bit more and things will surely turn around. But that's not actually the right way of thinking about it. Instead of saying, because of this decision, we've already lost so much money or so much time, we want to look at things a little bit differently and say, knowing what we know now, does the next step still make sense? And if the answer is no, that isn't a bad thing. It's not that we failed at the initial one. It's that we now have more information where we can give ourselves the freedom to evaluate and decide if it still makes sense to move on. It's a hard lesson. It's one that on paper is obvious, but very often isn't the moment you are in those situations. It's incredibly freeing, giving yourself the permission to change as you go. And last but not least is lesson number 5. Make trying the product as frictionless as possible. This one is especially true for Nutrified. We've only launched with our economy pack, which at 180 grams and a cost of around 69.99 PLN or 15 euro was a significant commitment for new customers. For existing ones, it made sense. The moment they know the brand, they trust us, and they've seen the effects firsthand, it's a no-brainer to keep coming back. However, for new customers, it's a very big commitment and a very big financial risk for a product they've never heard of, using active ingredients they don't know how they work, and the company they've never before met. They might be interested. They might be interested in what we told them at the trade shows. They might want to try, but spending so much money on that unknown is a very big hurdle. Because of that, going into the second quarter, what we will be focusing on are the smaller packages. They make it much easier to try out the product. They move this aha moment of seeing how it actually works much closer to the point of purchase, and it allows a low-risk commitment. Instead of spending a lot of money buying the bigger pack, they can get even 2 or 3 samples for free. Try it out and then decide. This is also one of the biggest objections we've heard from some of the stores that we didn't end up partnering with. That taking on such a big sachet is a very big risk for them. By introducing the smaller ones, it doesn't only make it easier for the consumers, but also for the retailers that want to work with us without taking on the full risk. With that, that's the 5 lessons we learned in the first quarter of 2026. I hope you found some value and can take some of them for yourself.